Okay, another one bites the dust. Hi everybody, how are you? Whoa, pine cones, shit. All right, sorry about that. No more profanity. It's just things keep falling everywhere. We haven't broken any bottles yet, but at any rate, happy holidays, good to see you. Feeling festive one way or the other. Thought I would dress up for you and just say this is, mercifully for some of you, the final pre-Christmas video that we'll be publishing. And you know, I'm gonna miss you so much. Not seeing you until after Christmas, that's gonna be terrible. Not having you in our living room, it's oh no. Come on, let's have some fun. Let's enjoy the holidays. Let's do this Christmas thing, and let's tell you about some final new last minute arrivals, or maybe some things that you might not have remembered to get. And it's not all about getting, is it? It's about giving. And we want to give you a heartfelt thank you for everything you've already done with us. This isn't about like getting you in here for one more purchase, like squeezing another ounce of your credit card into our account. We want to just say thank you and do what we do best, is let you know what's happened lately around here and see if it fits your needs. So, knowing that there's such a thing as stocking stuffers, we thought we would just show you a couple of things that are great for stuff in the stocking, stuff in the sock. And what do we, let's just roll through a couple of interesting things. If you like to drink a bottle of wine and then maybe open a second one in an evening and you realize probably shouldn't finish it, how am I going to keep it? I'll tell you what. This is the same stuff that winemakers use in their wineries. This same mixture of gas that's actually heavier than air, and so it sits as a protective blanket on top of the wine that you have left in your bottle. Take it from me, a little piece of advice, however. Don't have that bottle open on your table all night long and then decide, oh, now I can protect it with some of this magic gas. No, please, pour what you think you're gonna drink into your glass and then apply the gas immediately. Don't let that wine, that precious wine of yours, keep sucking up air, oxygen, basically oxidizing, all night long and then say, oh, now I am protecting the wine with the private preserved gas. No, just pour your wine, put in some of this. It's inert, it's flavorless, it's safe, and its main quality or property is that it's heavier than air and discourages oxidation. So winemakers use it, you can too. And it fits in a stocking and it won't break. It feels like we're selling you just like a can full of air. It's actually a can full of argon and nitrogen and something else too. Anyway, it's worth it, but use it wisely. How about putting into that stocking, something that you don't necessarily, hey, get out of here. Something you don't think about drinking all year long necessarily, but hey, it's the holidays and all of a sudden you're in the mood. We've got to keep things special. We do something a little extra at this time of the year. All of a sudden, dessert wine comes into play. This is not a half bottle, but a half bottle, 187 milliliter bottle of very precious dessert wine called ice wine. This is ice wine from the people who make Inniskillen in Canada. And this is going to be under the label of Jackson Triggs, but it's by the Inniskillen people, I think, or at least under their ownership. They have something to do with it. But Mother Nature has the most to do with it by freezing grapes. This is picked very, very late in the year when the grapes have actually frozen out there in the vineyard. And before they thaw out for the day, at let's say 2 or 3 a.m., people are going out there with headlamps on and picking frozen grapes to make ice wine. This wine gets processed very early on while the grapes are still frozen. The ice is removed. The ice is basically the water. What remains is this thick, rich syrup that is going to be fermented into delicious sweet wine. It's a pleasure to drink. Per my little and terrible description of how it's done, you can already hopefully understand that this stuff's expensive to make. Not only do you have to buy fur coats for the pickers, you're throwing away at least half of the wine by throwing away all those ice crystals. So it's not inexpensive, but in a 187 milliliter package, it is achievable price-wise. So come on in and look for this nice little stocking stuffer of ice wine. Here's another bottle that is wine gone bad on purpose. This is vinegar. This is sherry vinegar from southern Spain. It's Reserva sherry vinegar, meaning it's better. Reserva means it's better. Didn't you know that? It's just better. So this is The good stuff, sherry vinegar, comes in handy in the kitchen. You could do all kinds of things with it. I'm sure you've already got recipes calling for it, and you're saying, who the hell sells sherry vinegar? It is out there in fine stores, and now this fine store also has it. And it fits in the sock. Hey, stay there. All right. Speaking of Spain, olive oil. We've got beautiful olive oil from several different countries, but one of our favorites is from Hacienda Guzman. We've been selling this one for many, many years now. It comes in this cute little bottle, and it comes in a double size of this as well. And when we're really at our best downstairs, and I think we've got at least 2 of the 3, maybe all 3, there are 3 different single olive variety olive oils to choose from this company that is making olive oil down in Sevilla, Spain. So Hacienda Guzman, and it fits in the sock. We've talked about these before. Marcona, no, they're not Marconas. We have Marconas, I should be talking about those maybe. But these are hazelnuts from, not Spain, but from Oregon. A particular single farm sells us these directly. It's sustainably farmed, that's very close to organic, very responsible farming. And these delicious crunchy hazelnuts are coated with milk chocolate, dark chocolate, or you can buy them plain as well without any chocolate. I am munching these like crazy lately. These are very good. These are Ash Creek. You got to pronounce that carefully. Ash Creek, all right? Be careful. Hazelnuts from Oregon. Got to have some. Put them in the sock. What else is here? You know what? There's something else here that wouldn't be here if I hadn't gone for a long drive yesterday morning where last week sometime we loaded up big time on some beautiful brand newly arrived cookies from Italy. And what happened? All of a sudden all these gift basket orders came in, as well as a lot of customers, and we got wiped out, and I freaked out. I thought we had 4 more business days before Christmas. People are gonna want these cookies because they're beautiful and they're delicious. And we're all out. So we got wiped out to the point where we got on the website real quick, ordered some, and we asked for a will call. In other words, we know your delivery truck can't get here till Tuesday or Wednesday. Can I drive out there on Monday and just fill the back of the Honda Element with a bunch of beautiful Italian, I keep wanting to say Spanish, Italian cookies. These are definitely Italian because they have all kinds of uchis in them. Here's Cavallucci, which is a traditional Tuscan biscuits with walnuts and candied orange. Look at these. Oh my God, I gotta get these open later after the video. That would be like X-rated to watch me eat these. Cavallucci. And then we got these biscottini al cacao. Well, obviously they're chocolate. They call them breakfast cookies. I didn't know you could eat cookies for breakfast. Breakfast long biscuits with cocoa. Nummy num, I'm gonna have some. And what else? Oh, of course, amarettini, which are amaretto cookies that are little, hence ini. So, there they are. Don't they look good? All of these, I love the packaging. These just got here from Italy, so you know they're fresh. They didn't sit on somebody's grocery store shelf for the last year before they got under your tree. And here's, of course, the well-known biscotti. They're calling them cantucci, confici, e mandorle. Traditional biscotti with figs and almonds. Didn't you know? I didn't know, but now I do. So, learning my Italian slowly. Come on, these are beautiful, and they are now back in stock. I hope I didn't take that long drive for nothing. So come on in and load up on these gorgeous Italian cookies. Cookies? I don't know. How about this? How about putting this in the sock because it'll fit? This is a half a bottle, not a whole bottle, but a half a bottle of champagne. Half bottles of champagne, they come in handy, you know. They come in handy when you're hanging around doing videos and you just, oh, this is just too easy. It's good to be alone in this office sometimes. If I wasn't alone, I'd have to share this. But there's no sharing going on here, not today. I know we're supposed to be in the spirit of giving, but it takes motivation to do that. I am hereby motivating myself with Lanson. Lanson is real champagne. It's a great champagne producer that we don't see as often here in the United States. It goes into other markets more often, maybe England and Ireland and such. Wow, that's a nose. Lanson is interesting as a house in that none of their champagnes go through malolactic fermentation, whereas most champagnes do. But Lanson is going to provide you with a nice nervy champagne because of that. And what cushions the nerve is more time in bottle, entourage, we sometimes call it, during the champagne making process when you've got the lees hanging around in the bottles and they're being riddled. So the lees time makes it more interesting. And the fact that it didn't go through malolactic fermentation, that secondary fermentation changing malic acid into lactic acid, since that was kept back, the acidity is maintained. So you've got this, it's got the brioche kind of thing, almost a sherry-like smell, not sherry vinegar, mind you. It's very comforting. I think that's going to be comforting me for a while here in this office. Lanson, half bottle, why not? It fits in the stocking, right? All right, I think I would like to tell you about a few more things. One of them, very obviously, will not fit in the stocking because it is a Magnum. It's a Magnum of Chateauneuf du Pape. And frankly, we've had about a dozen of these Magnums of Chateauneuf du Pape in here for the last several months because this is the 2016 from Charbonnier. Charbonnier is a producer we work with quite a bit. We carry their Vaqueras, and right now we have 3 different examples of 2017 Chateauneuf du Pape by Charbonnier on the floor. So that's the, psst, hey buddy, this is the big news. That's a brand new arrival. Charbonnier's 17s have come in. 17 is a beautiful vintage that's very available with its flavors. You can drink those now. 16, which is what's in this Magnum, the 2016 vintage is a little more darker, more durable. I think you drink your 17s and 18s while you wait for your 16s to mellow out. Well, this one has another year of age on it now, and it is freaking delicious. It's dark, rich, and it comes in a Magnum. And if you do need to wait a few months before you have enough people around safely to be in your home to enjoy a Magnum of wine, why not get one of these or give one of these in the meantime? So what a great gift. A Magnum makes a statement. A Magnum is also great for aging wine longer. Like you can keep wine in this format longer than you would in a 750 milliliter bottle. Wine basically ages more slowly in larger formats, in larger volumes. So a lot of uses for this beautiful wine, Grenache Syrah Mourvedre from one of our favorite producers, Domaine de la Charbonnière. 2016 Magnums are for sale. I know we have at least a half a dozen of them down there. I just know that if you've got somebody in your life who's really into Rhone wines, and we've certainly cultivated that appreciation around here, this could be a great gift. There is another one I want to tell you about. That's last case just scenario. I thought we had enough wine, and then I realized we didn't have this. This got offered. This has been a ghost sometimes and a reality at other times for us during our many, many years in business. This is a Spanish red that I have long admired. I've gotten to go to the winery a couple of times. This is in Ribera del Duero, if you want to say it a little more properly. This is a producer who has a name that's kind of hard to say properly, but I'll give it a try. This is Pago de Carrovejas. Pago de Carrovejas is the eminent, in my opinion, producer of elegant wine in Ribera del Duero. So this is Tempranillo grape, with, I think, a little bit of help from either Cabernet or Merlot, or maybe a smidgen of both. But Tempranillo is the message. And this, I would call Pago de Carrovejas the opus one of this region. And what I mean by that, not necessarily with the pomposity or the, if that's even a word, or the, it's just a brand. It's just a fancy brand. This is a fancy brand, but this is really beautiful wine. And having been to the winery, I can attest to the fact that their equipment there and their attention to detail is paralleled by no other in the region. Ribera del Duero is different from Rioja normally because it is darker, richer Tempranillo, and kind of like Cabernet. This is one of the rare exceptions that instead of trying to be purple, it tries to be elegantly red. It breathes elegance. I've said elegance probably 3 times, but the point is, this Pago de Carrovejas is in a world apart and a cut above. It's transcendent for its region and for Tempranillo in general. This wine, when you feel it in your mouth, when you smell it, everything is delivered in proper doses. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it will when you have it, especially with, like, I think prime rib this holiday season. So if Christmas dinner involves prime rib, this wine will kill it. I promise. This wine is, I think it's about $55 before your wine club discount. So it dips under $50. It's one of the classiest wines in the world. If this wine had arrived more than a few weeks ago, it would have easily been placed probably right at the top of our best wines of 2020 list. The best 40 wines list deserves to have this on it. Number 41 has arrived. We'll nudge it up to maybe number 1 or 2 as far as our esteem for it. It's just cool that this wine that we've carried for so many years, on and off again, has finally reappeared 3 days before Christmas. So Pago de Caravijas, a very elegant Spanish wine. You can drink it, even though it's a 2018. You can drink this now with your prime rib. I recommend it with that. It'll kill it. I've got one more wine to tell you about. I know, it's a lot to say, but I've had coffee. See this? We love this champagne. We're ordering it like crazy. It costs about $40 and it's worth it. It's actually a very decent champagne price, would you say? The real stuff from Champagne, and it's grower champagne. The producer grew all of his or her own fruit to make Chateau Bligny. We carry it in rosé, we carry it in white. Today, however, we acknowledge that most of you already know this champagne because it's selling like hotcakes, and it's only up here today because it's a prop. It's because the truck that just arrived didn't have what we actually ordered and got this instead, which we are not complaining, but what was supposed to come were 2 6-packs of Roederer Cristal 2004. It's going to come later today, or they'll fix their problem tomorrow. But what we want to say is on its way here, reserve yours now, is Roederer Cristal, one of the greatest champagnes of Champagne. Roederer is a house that, unlike many of the Grand Marques or high-end champagne producers, actually grows 2/3 of their own fruit. That's not true of all those fancy names you hear. And I'm not going to name names, but we know who they are. Most of those buy finished champagne or at least juice and then bring it into their winery to finish up. Roederer is a grower, mostly grower, 2/3 of their own fruit. They have about, I think, nearly 600 acres of their own juice. And Cristal is made entirely of estate-grown, wonderful stuff. Gets ratings that are crazy every year. They don't make it every year. They only make Cristal in the great years. So pretend this is Cristal. Be excited by the fact that what's coming in is 2004. So it's vintage Cristal. And be excited by the fact that the Wine Steward will have its best price ever on this wine, or at least in a very, very long time. We haven't really been able to compete. And for one reason or the other, all of a sudden this year, with these 12 bottles at least, we're able to be at a very decent price. So it's never an expensive wine. It's top of the heap champagne, as you know, or hopefully you know. And Cristal, this time for Wine Club members, will dip under $200 if you'd like a bottle or so. You may want to, having seen this video, send me an email saying, hey, can we reserve a bottle or two of the incoming, fingers crossed, Roederer Cristal. That's a lot of stuff to show you. I probably talked fast and things are getting in the way. There's too many coffee cups. We're going to have an official burning of the coffee cups on New Year's perhaps. Well, that's it from us, at least in video form before Christmas. I want to propose a toast to you, the Wine Steward customer, who's been participating beautifully with us all year long, keeping our boat afloat. People are asking us all the time, how are we doing? We're doing decently, you know. What we've lost is our very lucrative, useful, let's say it that way without sounding wealthy, event business. That's gone out the window. We can't have events. We can't have gatherings. We can't have anybody up at our wine bar to taste flights and wines by the glass and so on. So all that's gone. So we've had to get by on retail. I'm glad we're not a restaurant. We're a retailer. We've done pretty darn decently, thanks to you. Keep up the good work. A little worried about January. Don't you all go dry on us. In the meantime, have a fantastic Christmas and enjoy some of these cookies and hazelnuts and big bottles of wine and tiny bottles of wine. Merry Christmas to all. Thank you for everything.